Well, boys, we have been absolutely spoiled yet again. The boys over at EOS Online have sent us over their brand new Axleback exhaust, specifically for the 22 Plus BRZ and GR86. We are going to do a little bit of an unboxing, show you what's inside. We're going to install it on the BRZ and get some nice little comparisons between the stock versus the Axleback, and just basically rip it, because that's what you boys want to see. We're putting on an exhaust to make it louder, give it a bit more personality. It's exactly what we're going to do. So follow along, and if you would like to purchase this exact same exhaust, please visit the link in my description. Go check out the boys over at EOS. They've got a few really nice little products coming for the BRZ and the 86. All right, boys, before we get started, if you're enjoying the content so far, please consider hitting that like button and obviously subscribing if you haven't already, because we've got more videos to come. And of course, if you want to follow me on any other social medias, I do have Instagram. I post a bit of stuff on there as well. It is 00lock. Go give that a follow. And also, if you guys have any questions about any video or anything to do with the BRZ, the WRX, feel free to give me a message on Instagram. I'm really good at replying there, and also the comment section down below, because at the end of the day, I made this YouTube channel to help everybody out and express what I'm doing with the cars. All right, enough chit chat, boys. Let's have a little unboxing and see what's inside. All right, fellas, let's see what is in the box. Let's do a nice little unboxing here. Let's see what we have. Okay, don't need that. We have an accessory box. I'm assuming this is bolts or some sort of gasket, all that kind of stuff. So we'll just leave that over to the side here. But really, we're trying to find the exhaust. That's what we want to see. Okay, big reveal. Bam. Okay. Damn, look at those tips, boys. Look at those tips. So this is just one side of the Axleback exhaust. I'm just gonna pop that down very carefully over here on this towel. And let's get out our second piece here. Wow, there we go, and there's our second piece. We have our brand new Axleback exhaust, as you can see right here. I've actually set it up in the exact orientation that's going to go on the car. So essentially all we're doing is we're deleting the big ass muffler that's supposed to be right here and just linking it back up to the mid pipe. We also get included an installation guide, just a couple of terms and conditions that you should read before you install the exhaust. We also have an accessories box, which includes a gasket and a couple of nice new shiny bolts there. So I'm going to be using those as intended. And that's all there really is, boys. So the EOS Axleback exhaust, it's made from 304 stainless steel. The welds on this honestly look quite good, pretty decent. I would say it's probably comparable to your mid-range exhaust, just like NVIDIA and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, there's no scratches. Everything looks good, no cracking. And look at these blue titanium-like burnt tips. They look really nice too. I think that's gonna pop on the red car. So yeah, there's really not much to it, boys. Really excited, so let's install this. Huge muffler, which obviously muffles the sound, and what we're doing is basically deleting that. So we're going to have basically the exhaust that comes from these two bolts here. It's going to be deleted and it's going to be replaced with that bad boy sitting right over there. All we really need to do is take off these two bolts. We also have a few hangers here. We've got 2 on each side holding up the muffler. So we need to take the exhaust off those hangers. There's also 2 on this side as well. But what I'm thinking what we might do, just to kind of help us out a little bit, is to put a bit of WD-40 on these muffler hangers, just to really try and help get these off, because I can just tell that these are going to be a bit of a pain to get off. Okay, so whilst we wait for the WD-40 to just do its thing, I'm just going to take a 14mm spanner. This one's got a ratcheting spanner on top of it as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen these 2 nuts here. So there's our first bolt. Now we can just get that, and we can just make sure, fellas, when you're going to loosen the nuts here and the bolts, this is going to want to spin when you obviously try and turn this nut. So you're going to have a second spanner just sitting there and holding it and stopping it from moving. All right, now that's fully separated. You can see the little gap in between there. So the only thing that's holding this big muffler on is these hangers. So we're gonna see if we can pull these off the hangers and release the muffler. There's one, I think. Yep, there we go, there's one. Easy does it. Nice and easy. There we go. We don't need this thing anymore. Oh man, that's heavy. All right, so now we've got the exhaust off, we are going to reuse these exhaust rubber hangers. So there's 4 of them, 2 on each side. We're going to take those off and we're going to put them on the brand new exhaust where the 4 sides are. Just a little tip with getting these exhaust hangers off: if you don't have a specific tool to get them removed, then just grab a small little screwdriver. And I like to kind of put it under there and help kind of jam it in there, and just so you can kind of lift it above that surface, then you can get that off like so. Okay, now that we have the rubber hangers from the OEM exhaust onto the Axleback exhaust, now all we have to do is link this exhaust up in the middle here using the provided hardware, which we have a gasket and we have some nuts and bolts. So it's pretty simple. All we need to do is put the gasket on like so, and we need to thread through the nuts and the bolts. Just finger tighten it first, just to get both sides nice and even. We want to make sure that that gasket is also nice and even so we don't have any exhaust leaks. We're just gonna maneuver our body under here, and I'm just going to see if I can get this out of the way. That's 2. Right, so that's now supported from this end. I'll just do a little 180 here. All hangers are on. Beautiful. Okay. What we're going to do is we're just going to slip these OEM bolts back on. We're just going to finger tighten them because we're going to have to make some adjustments. So we'll just finger tighten that one. All right, so before we tighten up all the bolts, what we're going to do is we're going to line the tips up, make sure they are in the position that we want, and they're nice and center and they don't stick out too much or stick in too much. So let's have a little look at the moment, see where we're at. Okay, fellas, I've kind of been messing around with just adjusting those bolts there and just trying to pull the exhaust down, and I kind of can only just get it down to about that level there. Now they're pretty close to being center, but the only problem I'm just slightly worried about is them being a bit too far up to the top there. So they look pretty decent, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it. But for now, I think it's time that we start it. Let's start her up and see what she sounds like. Well, boys, it's been a good couple of days now, and I've been getting used to the exhaust, just kind of gathering my thoughts, and I wanted to give you my first impressions. The car is actually quite loud on startup. It's pretty aggressive. It's got, I would say, quite a nice tone to it. But as soon as it finishes its warm-up cycle, it goes to a pretty quiet purr, which I like. Definitely don't want to be annoying the neighbors for too long in the mornings. And it pretty much continues that purr as we go through the low rev range from about 1 to 2,000 RPM. Okay, we're going to do a little pull from second gear up to fifth. I'll tell you where I shift. I'm going to start at 2.5 now. So there's fifth gear. And as you can tell, you put your foot down, you actually get a bit of sound. It doesn't sound too quiet, it's not too aggressive. Now, what I do like about this exhaust is you can do a couple of cool little things like this. And we're hitting 100 k's an hour. When you're on the highway, it is quiet and it's really nice. You're not going to hear any sort of droning because you're going to be over about 2,500, 3,000 RPM when you're on the highway, and it just hums. It's just a nice little hum, so that's excellent to have. So we'll go fifth gear, downshift into fourth, downshift into third. Just a nice little pop every now and then. Let's see if we can do it downshifting into second as we come to the roundabout. Oh, that was a loud one. And there you have it. So this is where it can drone a little bit. Going up a hill, 2,000-ish RPM, putting a little bit of foot on the gas. But as soon as you get past that point, it goes quiet at around 2,500 RPM. So it's just something to think about. Well, boys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the install, and hopefully all the sounds that you got from this do the exhaust justice, and that it'll help you with your decision on what exhaust to buy for your BRZ or GR86. Honestly, if you're in the market for one and you don't want to spend too much money, an Axleback exhaust is definitely a great way to go. And it sounds great without being too obnoxious. So thank you very much for watching, boys. As always, if you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new and you're enjoying the videos so far, and leave me a cheeky comment. Thank you so much, boys. I will catch you in the next video. Cheers.